Jesus Christ, why is it so close? Hey, everybody. What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the All-Pro JAFFOs, a highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I am your host, JP.
Hey, yo.
Okay, as you know, we'll probably be joining late. But to talk F1 with us, the Marshawn Lynch of the group.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
Ladies and gentlemen, our F1 correspondent, the Sunshine. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
He's still getting it. He's still getting it. Well, the opening weekend, Formula One just happened, and I'm almost 100% certain, that nobody thought what happened on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon in Bahrain would have ever expected to see. Unless you were paying attention all weekend, because there was the possibility of it happening, and we talked about it on the show a little bit
100%.
last week when we were talking about testing and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't necessarily a surprise to us, but it was pretty cool to see. Fernando Alonso, 20-year vet, Aston Martin car, picks up pole, third place. I think
Podium, bro.
Stroll came in ninth.
It's a podium, my guy.
Podium, sorry. He came in third. He got podium.
I can't remember where Stroll came in.
But it was enough that Aston Martin is, team-wise, is what? Team number 2?
Yeah.
Team number 2. Good Lord.
It's kind of fucked.
This whole time we've been talking about Red Bull and Mercedes and Ferrari.
Red Bull still did what they do, you know what I mean? But like, man.
But everything else, it was just...
Yeah, it was great. It was a great race.
No, it was. It was a good opening race.
Awesome.
Max was just... again, the dude is just on a whole nother level. We kind of had the idea, especially how well Red Bull did last year with the new car, how much better they were going to be. Say what?
He came in 6th.
He came in 6th. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Lance Stroll to Caleb is, what do we call this? Dumbass! Yeah. So, but what about this weekend?
I mean, honestly, though, hats off to Lance Stroll for dealing with that. He had, 2 surgically repaired wrists after a biking accident, and he stuck it out, man. Like, it wasn't Max cruises, of course, but for Lance to still go out and still get some points for his team, showed some grit. But other than that, yeah, I still think Dragovich is better than him.
I was going to say, I think the other guy would have placed a little higher.
I think, maybe. It's hard to beat Lewis Hamilton.
I only say that because what he did during the practice trials, and he's healthier.
He couldn't even turn the damn fucking steering wheel, man. Like,
I was saying, like, he was healthier. He would have been in there. Again, hats off to Stroll for placing where he did with all the with all the ailments and stuff like that. But you get, what's his name, Dragovich?
Yeah,
you get him in there, you might be looking at a different scenario, more points.
I don't think they do. No. I mean, you're pretty much asking a rookie to flat out beat Hamilton and Carlos Sainz.
Well, I'm not saying he would have beaten them, but Lance Stroll placed what?
6th. He came in 6th.
Oh yeah, no, okay.
He came in ahead of George Russell, and that's a good spot. That's not a bad spot to be in with those kind of injuries, especially considering who he came in behind. Like,
True.
It's not bad.
Alonso, man, I got to talk about that guy because even he was surprised
Yeah, absolutely. What?
by how well the car was performing, how well he was
How much
performing.
they had improved
You
from
know,
last year? It was like, are you kidding me?
they were at the bottom of the barrel last year.
They weren't like at the bottom of the barrel,
They
but
were close. They were
you had the
close.
big three, then you had Alpine, then you had I mean they were like number 7, I think. 7 or 8.
Still not great.
No. I mean, no, but
Are they getting their parts their own manufacturing, or are they getting them from somebody?
so they have a Mercedes power unit. There's only 4
Ah,
manufacturers. You've got Renault, who's still manufacturing for Alpine. It's just under a different name, the Formula
mhm.
One team at least.
Right.
Then you still have Honda, Mercedes, and Ferrari.
So they have a Mercedes engine
Yes,
or
they have a
Mercedes
Mercedes
power
power
unit.
unit. Yeah. Speaking of which, Hamilton is not happy. Oh my god.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I
he
don't know
claims.
how much you
Well,
credit
here's
the
the
car,
thing.
how much you credit Alonso, but
No,
Alonso was making
It's not.
moves.
It's not even that. It's not even that. He's claiming that the team didn't listen to him when it came to the development of the car. They didn't take into account
Mm.
his opinion. That's what he's claiming. Um, as far as we know, I mean, Total's gonna. I mean, he's gonna protect the image of the team and say we all need to come together and regroup and do this. And in Hamilton, yeah, I mean, fuck, I'd be upset too. Like, yeah, it's not.
How do you not take the input of a 7-time world champ?
That's for Mercedes. It's like, why would you double stack in Monaco? You got to ask Ferrari that question. You know what I mean? Like,
That's for them to just
yeah,
figure out.
that's for them to figure out. You know,
You would think you have
and
one of the
poor
greatest
Leclerc,
drivers in Formula One history on your team, and you don't
poor
take his input.
Leclerc, man, that guy just can't catch a break. Oh my god,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
engine problems. Oh god, reliability. That's just wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country Gate.
I hate people that can't drive so much.
Yeah. That'll piss people off.
I mean, that'll piss me off. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you looking backwards and you're driving straight? Like, every day I wake up, every morning I wake up, I get confused because I never knew it was this hard to fucking drive. Like, for me, I really thought it was pretty fucking easy. Like, you go the direction you're looking at. I don't know. I learned that it's way harder to look straight and drive straight. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how it is down there in Texas, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit ain't changed from when you was out here.
Sounds about right.
Not at all. I told him that when I got there. I was like, it's so much easier to travel through here than it is through California.
Everything's
Holy
built around the
shit.
highway.
Yep.
And then California, for whatever reason, we're like, let's just build the highway right in the middle of the city and let them all fucking figure it out. I don't know how it's gonna work, but and then let's put stoplights right before you get onto the freeway, just to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
No, California infrastructure is atrocious.
It's garbage, hot garbage, and y'all are
Mm.
losing all your tax people, your
Yep.
people who pay taxes there, and keep y'all at a surplus. You're losing all of them.
Motherfuckers is for sure moving to Texas at a high fucking rate.
Motherfuckers is getting the fuck out of California. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Jesus.
So getting real quick back into what was the I mean, obviously Alonso was, I think, the most impressive
Uh-huh.
out of the whole weekend. But outside of him, was there anybody else that kind of stood out to you to have you think, oh man, we might need to keep an eye on this guy throughout the season?
I mean, for me, it wasn't really like thinking about. It wasn't really thinking about. Oh, I'm excited. What the rest is. It's more like I'm excited to see what the career is going to look like, and that was Logan Sargent. I mean, to do what he did in a Williams. I mean, he just missed out on the points. Like,
the only American on the grid with the
like
most American fucking name I guess you can come up with.
Hey, man,
Logan Sargent.
Hell yeah. Fucking A right. You're fucking A right.
But hey, what did he get? 11th?
12.
12. Okay.
He was in 9th at one point, but he had to pit. So, but he did get lapped. I ain't gonna lie to you. He did get lapped.
I mean, damn near everybody got fucking lapped by Max. He was just. Again, the guy.
Lando got lapped twice? No. Oh, no. Yeah. Lando got lapped twice. He had so many issues.
Oh, dude. McLaren is just. Stink. Just what the hell is going on with them?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, I'm looking at it going, like, are we sure this is McLaren? Like, this is one of the teams that you would discuss.
That's karma,
as like
bro.
A top 5 crew.
That is karma. That is karma for Zach Brown right there. That's all that is. That is straight up karma. That's the easiest way you could put it. It's straight up karma.
Karma?
Yeah. He stole 2 drivers. Bro, he stole Danny Ricciardo, and Renault literally built their car around Danny Ricciardo's fucking driving style. They literally built the car for him. Just him. Zach Brown goes out the next year and pulls him and takes him to fucking McLaren, offer him a absurd amount of money. Same deal with fucking Oscar Piastri. This is all just everything coming full circle. There's everything coming full circle for Zach Brown. This is all that is.
I bought a fucking lighter and left it in the goddamn truck. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I hate cars.
Hey, me now.
Sorry, wait. Did he just say I left my lighter in the trunk?
No, in the truck. I bought a lighter when I was on route because I knew I needed to smoke.
Yeah.
And I left the lighter in the fucking truck. But I thought the phone was muted. I was like fucking pissed off. I thought I muted the phone. So me complaining right now, I really thought no one heard me. So my bad, guys.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. So oh fuck, dude. So McLaren.
Yeah, this is just karma.
So all right, well, I mean,
and I feel bad for Lando Norris because he's an actual good driver. Like that's really what it is. Like I just really feel bad for Lando because you put him in a good car, he can deliver. You know what I mean? But like,
I mean, Lando. I mean, he was one of those guys that, at least in a couple years prior,
he was part of that. He was part of the new generation. Leclerc and Max. Well, Max has been in it for a minute. I mean, as soon as Max got his license, they put him in an F1 car and said, "Just go." As soon as he could put on the racing shoes, he was in it. But like Sonoda and that's really about it. And I mean Gasly, but even Gasly's been there for a few seasons, and honestly, I think he turned in a good result given what he's driving. You know what I mean?
In the Alpine, yeah.
But yeah, he's doing well.
I mean, to be honest, bro, I still think. I don't know. A part of me still thinks he should have stayed.
No.
With Tory one more year.
No.
I'm not saying he was going to end up being with Red Bull at any time.
No. But I mean, when you go to AlphaTauri, that's
you're the secondary team to Red Bull, like that.
Exactly, that's your goal. Is for one of those Red Bull seats, and he wasn't going to get it. I mean, they just re-signed last year after Monaco. They just re-signed Pacheco.
Yep.
You know, and even I mean, he had a great result. I mean,
Yep.
you know, only 11 seconds behind Max, and I mean, he's keeping up with him. You know what I mean? And this is what they're asking of him.
Hold
You know,
on.
as long as you perform. You know.
Hold on. Isn't it hilarious that we said, yeah, he kept up with Max. He was 11 seconds behind.
Yo, I don't know if that's a keep up.
Okay. Okay. When the next driver back is 38 seconds back.
Again, dude, Max just he's
Max checked out and he was just cruising the whole race. I mean, he was gone.
And
he
and
put
he
that
was
Red
saying,
Bull.
like you can hear him in the car. He was saying that there were some problems with the car as he was going. Obviously nothing detrimental enough for him to, have any troubles
Well, I
during
mean,
the
you
race.
can. I mean, well, I'm not gonna lie to you. These races, I mean, most of the time it's built on. I mean, it's conserving tires, conserving energy. You know, making sure that you're not just because these guys don't just go flat out 100% the entire time, mode push all fucking day. They don't do that. You know, if Max has that kind of a lead, he's cruising. I mean, I guarantee you, Max could have extracted, at least a few more seconds. He could have taken fastest lap. It wouldn't have been an issue. But you can't really do that because these engines, they really only last about 4 to 5 races
Before they have to switch them out. Yeah.
before they swap them.
You gotta save the engine.
Yeah.
Save the engine, save the fuel,
well.
save the tires.
He did well.
It was just, again, we were looking at it going.
But just to see Checo, doing that and doing his thing and even in qualifying, I mean, he was right there with Max. He was only I think like a 10th back. So
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
got to focus. He's got to focus on those fucking lights for real though, because he can't keep doing that. He puts them in a position where, we get a front row lockout, and then he fucking bottles the start. Like, what do you? Come on, you need to.
My nigga tripping, bro. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. Oh God.
But so I'm at least after race 1, I'm looking at it going. It looks like it's going to be another dominant year for Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's almost like last year people were talking about like, oh, Mercedes, they fell off, but they'll be back next year, because it's Mercedes. But after what we saw this weekend, well, there may still be.
You didn't listen to the world champ. You didn't listen to the GOAT. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense to me how you have literally, when you look at the stats, when you look at the records, when you look at everything, you literally got the greatest driver in F1 history. And you don't take his advice about how to handle the car. Toto, you're walking on eggshells there, bud. Like that's
nothing's gonna happen to Toto.
Well, I know nothing's gonna happen to Toto, but you're gonna have an incident where Hamilton's gonna be like, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Well, here's the thing: if Hamilton keeps going about this that way, he may be looking at Mercedes cutting ties. Maybe in a year or two, cutting ties with him, saying, he's old. We're looking forward with George Russell and whoever the fuck else. You know what I mean?
Lewis Hamilton is not that old.
He's not. I'm just saying.
He's not that old. Like, he's been around for a bit, but he's not that old.
No. Here's the thing: when you call out your team like that, it's hard to. You know what I mean? Because then everything just becomes a fucking giant fiasco, and nobody cares, and then they're losing, and nobody cares even more, and
So then, if Lewis leaves, where does he go? That's the question, because he's going to want to go somewhere that they have at least a decent chance of winning. They have a good car, and that they're going to compete.
Well, he's not
But
going to Red Bull.
well,
No, I'm
At
just
least-
kidding. Josh, 100%. If Lewis Hamilton decided to leave Mercedes or whatever that may be, the following year he's going to be in a Red Bull. Horner, I guarantee you, Horner will be like all up and down that. Sorry, Danny Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, you are now a reserve driver. Max and Lewis.
that's tough. How do you beat that team?
You don't. You don't.
Yeah, but how do you make that work though? You've got two of probably the biggest competitors on the grid as teammates.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to cause problems.
100% it is.
So then, if you've already invested so much in Max being your golden boy, why would you want to bring in Lewis
Because
Hamilton?
they would bring in Hamilton to push Max to even further heights. And that'll push him.
That it would.
And push him. And they'll probably wreck a few times. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Hamilton versus Verstappen again in the fucking driver championship.
Yeah, but nobody's going to be touching the Constructors' Cup.
Red Bull will.
Oh, no shit. I mean,
Yeah.
outside of them. But
this is the whole reason. And honestly, I didn't expect it to take to happen this quickly. But 2 years after they introduced the cost cap, it's like, oh shit, everybody's a lot closer than we thought. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's been such a blessing to the sport because now it's not, it's not dog shit racing anymore. You pass
it's
one
not
guy
completely
and then
one-sided to a couple of teams.
No, yeah, exactly. Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes drop, $500 million on their car, and Haas can only afford $100 million. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like,
I mean, nothing really. So with the cap going in, the new cars, everything's looking good. Everything's looking fast. Aston Martin is in a place
Aston Martin
right
looks
now.
quick. They look quick. Goddamn.
And Alonso, yeah, the car looked good, but his overtakes were flawless during the weekend. He overtook
Alonso?
Hamilton way too easily.
That is that racecraft of 20 plus years of racing in an F1 car. That's all that is.
You know the book inside out.
Exactly.
You know each track inside out.
Exactly. I mean, you have like every year the track changes just a little bit. They put in a new turn or a new chicane, whatever, widen a wall here, narrow a wall there. Like, every year it changes just a little bit. So, I mean, they do adapt and everything, but
yeah, but it's not anything that where like the whole track is fucking changed.
Some places do. Some places have a completely different track. And there's also new tracks that come in, like Vegas this year and Jeddah 2 years ago. So, yeah. It's going to be a fun one.
You think Aston Martin or Fernando Alonso will be competing for a world championship?
Oh, shit. No. I think he puts... If things continue this way, I think he puts Aston Martin in second in the Constructors. And I think... well, this is just speculation. These are my top three right now. I've got Red Bull, I've got Aston Martin, and then I have Mercedes. Because you know what? Mercedes has a reliable car. That shit does not break down. And Ferrari just can't seem to figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so,
Yep. I mean,
if
again,
it's not
with
if
somebody
it's
like
not engine problems, it's strategy problems. And if it's not strategy problems, then it's engine problems. So it's kind of just
it's a tradition of problems.
it's a we are Ferrari and we can never do any wrong. So this is Ferrari forever because we're Ferrari. That's all that is. It's like, oh, no, I don't care how good you are in a car. I make a Ferrari, therefore I'm better than you because we are Ferrari.
That doesn't make any sense. And especially, like you said, you feel bad for somebody like Leclerc because the dude's
He's
a
a good
phenomenal
driver.
racer.
He's
Phenomenal.
a good fucking driver.
He's literally like, if you put him in an actually good car, him and Lewis are probably the only two on the entire grid that will give Max a problem.
Honestly, I think it's just Leclerc who gives Max problems.
Well, him and Leclerc have been racing each other since they were kids.
Yeah,
So
but Leclerc is,
Leclerc is that guy.
Leclerc is Leclerc, and then Max is Dutch. So, I mean, come on. You gotta
The
be
Flying
honest.
Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman. I mean, again, Max is on a tear. Red Bull looks dominant. Aston Martin came out of fucking nowhere.
That was awesome to see. And honestly, though, I don't
It made
think...
me kind of happy seeing another team.
Well, here's
competing.
the thing. Here's the thing about Aston Martin that is making me very weary of race one and how it's going to look for them. No other driver that gets put into Alonso's seat at Aston Martin, there's no other driver that does that. It's the only one who could have put an Aston Martin on the podium was Fernando, is what I mean. So, and the only reason why Lance Stroll came in where he did is because Leclerc had a DNF and Russell was racing like dog shit. So, yeah.
I mean, Russell, you don't really have a whole lot of love for anyway, but
I mean, Corey hates him. It's funny as shit. She's hilarious. She's like, fuck that kid. Like, she's
like, screw that kid. I don't gotta worry about it.
Really hard. Like, and I get it. You're a driver. You got to be confident. You got to be cocky and arrogant. I get it.
Well, I mean, every driver has a level of arrogance to it.
Yeah, exactly. Every driver, but that guy just takes the cake. I mean, he actually thinks he's as good as Lewis Hamilton. He actually believes that. And I get it. Again, like I said, they're drivers. They have to believe that, but beliefs are often different than reality. So,
That is very true. So, the race this weekend, where are we at?
I think Checo takes it this weekend.
Really?
Because fuck it. And...
Because fuck it. Okay.
Possibly a Max DNF. And then...
Really?
Yeah, possibly. Jeddah is unforgiving as a motherfucker. I don't even want to hear it. And I get it. Max is really good, but if he gets into some shit, he could possibly DNF that motherfucker. I've got Lewis Hamilton coming in third. Leclerc in second. Checo winning, of course. And then I've got Alonso in fourth. I've got Carlos Sainz in fifth. And then we got the rest of the field who gives a fuck.
So you got your top 5, and then there we go. But I mean, it just goes to show, like, the racing is a lot closer. The cars, like, everybody's, again, everybody's pretty much caught up.
What's that salary cap?
The salary cap is
Working.
definitely
It's really nice.
making it better.
It's working. We like that. We like that.
And and again, it's kind of nice to see these other teams competing, because I guess I'm unless you're a fan of Red Bull, Mercedes, or Ferrari, sometimes you'd like to see somebody else after 10 fucking years, competing. You'd like to see somebody else getting in there.
Nah.
But I mean, you being a Red Bull fan, yes, I can understand that. But me being, just recently getting into F1, I don't necessarily have a team yet. There are drivers that I like, but it's nice to see teams like Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso getting to this point.
No, who's your favorite fucking driver? God damn it.
Favorite driver right now? I feel like they're cliche answers, because there's 2 drivers that I have no doubts.
You're going to say Lewis Hamilton first, and you're going to say Max second, because Max is Dutch. And
well, I was going to say Max and then Lewis, but either way, it's no particular order. It's no particular order. Both of those guys are just unbelievable drivers.
Yeah. It's really hard not to fall in love with Checo, though, because, I mean, that guy is, pause that, but he's dope, man, and he's a family man. There you go. You put the pause up. Thank you. But yeah, he's a family man. He's Mexican, and I mean, damn, the guy's quick. He's the Mexican Minister of Defense. What do you want?
Yep. That's what he's called. So, but yeah, man. So you got your top 5 right there. In Jeddah this weekend. Does it say what time that it starts?
Probably another fucking 7 a.m. race, 6 a.m. race.
7, 6 a.m. Okay. Well, you might have to wake me up. This weekend, literally, Sunshine calls me and wakes me up. Wake the fuck up, motherfucker. It's race time. The race started at 7. My ass is like at like 7:15 when you wake me up.
Hey, that's fucking hilarious. We would definitely talk about, are we gonna watch this race or not? That's what's hilarious.
He straight up woke me up. He's like, "Hey, wake up, It's and I looked at the time. Oh fuck, yeah, it's race time. Bro, as soon as the race ended and you and I got off the phone with each other, I shit you not, I passed out for a nap. Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate Sunshine.
Hold on. Did you tell him about the Joplo Drive series?
I did tell him about that, and I don't know how he feels about it.
Can you explain that one more time?
Oh my god, we were saying when you
calling me at work. I'm all at work, and you expect me to be listening to you? Get the fuck out of here.
We were saying, because I know that you and Corey were planning on coming down here later on in the year. We were thinking to go we found a Formula 1 racing simulator. In San Jose. And then
I'm gonna show up in the driver's suit. Fuck y'all.
Oh, I would love it. We should all show up in a driver's suit, to be honest.
I'm gonna cut some weight. I'm gonna cut weight.
Holy shit.
Cut weight. We
cut weight. You're like 120 soaking wet. The fuck you mean cut weight?
That's what I was thinking. He's gonna disappear.
Hell yeah. Big slender man up in that little go-kart.
Yeah. And then after that, going to K1.
Yeah.
And like actually getting a race down.
Yeah. I'll smoke all of you.
Oh, here we go.
whoa. Slow down. I am
Hey,
Jeff
Country,
Gordonson.
I
I'm
ain't
just
gonna
going
lie.
to
Your
let y'all know
baggy
that.
ass is gonna have a hard time getting that car into gear. Goddamn it!
I'm flexible, and if you're cutting weight, you think I was already
I
cutting weight.
ain't worried about you fitting in the damn thing. I'm worried about you fucking breaking an engine.
Hey, if I can fit, these 16s gonna hit that motherfucking
If
pedal in the
it
clutch,
fits,
y'all. I'm
it
telling
ships, motherfucker. Goddamn.
you. Exactly. I'm gonna get it.
Shit.
As long as I'm not last, I'm good. Fuck that.
If you ain't first, you're last. Ballad of Ricky Bobby, motherfucker. I want to go fast.
Oh
Hey,
shit.
and my high school is Nulli Secundus, which is Latin for second to none.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. I heard a different word, but I ain't gonna say it. Not on live TV.
We're not doing this.
Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our F1 correspondent.
It's going to
The
bed.
great-
It's going to bed.
Yep. Sunshine's going to bed.
Motherfuckers work. It's just demoralizing, honestly. It's just the worst.
Until you can find something else better for me to put in there for you, that's what it's going to be.
You did find something else better to put in there for me, and then you
Okay,
still go back
here,
to it.
here was the one he liked, Kay.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
Hold on. Hold on, y'all play it again. I didn't hear it.
I'm here so I won't get fined.
Oh, fuck no.
You're making it seem like you don't want to be here, asshole. You dick.
Addison's kind of perfect.
Hey, Kale. Hey, Kale. No,
No.
you're not getting it.
No. No.
Yeah,
Sunshine,
you
we'll
guys
see you
fucking
next week, brother.
Yeah. All right.
See you. Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, Sunshine Formula One correspondent. Obviously, if you didn't get a chance to see the race this last weekend, you're going to want to see it this weekend because, again, everything's looking close, everything's looking fast, and it's looking pretty unpredictable. I mean, at least outside of Max Verstappen and Red Bull dominating, it is what it is. But before we move on, here is a message from our friends over at Raise Energy.
What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All-Pro JAFFOs, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Raise Energy. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Raise Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced Refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Raise has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan voted energy drink on the planet with Raise Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Let them know the Jaffos sent you.
It still makes me laugh every time I hear the energy drink. Every time I hear it, I go, "Well,
You
fuck
definitely
it."
was tossing that motherfucker up like a piece of pie.
Yep. Yep. Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, pretty soon, we are going to be having Hans Themisto. You guys know Hans, our boxing and fight world aficionado. He seems to be pulling a Tank Davis right now, and showing up a little bit late for those of you guys who saw the press conference earlier today. And I'm sure, and Hans was there, so I know for a fact he was just as pissed as a lot of people that were there, having to wait almost 2 hours um, from the scheduled start time for Tank Davis to show up. So it's going to be eager to talk to him about his experience there and the fight coming up April 22nd. So next month, mega fight, super fight coming up. Javante Tank Davis versus Ryan or King Ryan Garcia, if we're gonna get the nicknames for each one of them up there. So whenever Hans gets in, which I will keep an eye out for. Hang on, all set for you.
All right. So I'm
Because
gonna
he
ask you
asked me
this.
earlier, like he's like, "What time is it?" I was like, 7:30. What time is that Eastern? 10:30. He's like, "All right, cool, I got you." Who's that?
So but no, I just so while we wait, we can actually talk about it. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm picking Tank because I'm a big fan of Tank, but I am very, very understanding of how Ryan's hands are. I'm very aware, very aware. So this is a very hard pick to pick Tank. I'm just saying because this is honestly, he like one of my favorites right now. I like Tank. I like Ryan too. So
I mean,
but I think
it's again, it's hard not to pick because both of the and that's what the beauty of it is, when you call it a super fight, a mega fight, you got two undefeated fighters at the top of their game. You don't get this type of shit, very often, unfortunately. Um, a lot of fighters for some reason, duck each other up until they're way past their primes, and they've already, and we've talked about it with Hans on the show plenty of times. That I mean, at least us here, I hate seeing people duck. I hate seeing fighters not going after the big fight because they want to pat their record or, get more achievements and stuff like that. Because, I want to see your boxing record filled with top talent for me to even consider you one of the greatest fighters or whatever of all time, or in that category of like a Hall of Fame boxer. I want to see that list, with some good names. And this is one of those things, and they were talking about it in the press conference, that they're hoping that this fight triggers for the rest of the game to have fighters go after the mega fights. Um, that we've been waiting for Spence Crawford for forever. And they said it was going to happen, and all of a sudden it wasn't going to happen. And then it was going to happen, and then all of a sudden it wasn't going to happen. This is, same type of thing when people were wanting Mayweather and Pacquiao when they were both in their primes to go at it with each other. And they both basically dodged each other until they were 35 plus, already old past their prime, not really anybody giving as much, yeah, it was, a fight that everybody tuned into because it was a fight that everybody had been waiting on for years and years and years. But, how much better would that fight have been had both of them been in their prime? Had both Mayweather and Pacquiao been in their prime, who would have won that fight? So that's why I look at it going, I'm glad to see, both Davis and Garcia going, they wanted this fight. Neither one of them was trying to duck each other, or at least it didn't seem that way. It was very adamant because they were constantly asked, especially the last few years, when are you guys going to fight each other? When are you going to fight each other? And they've been wanting to. Ryan's been very vocal about it. Tank's been very vocal. I mean, Tank is one of those guys. He doesn't give a shit who he fights. He just wants to fight. He just wants to prove that he's the best out. And Ryan, he has that stigma of being that, like, he's prioritizing social media and stuff like that more than he is actual boxing. But then the more I look at it, I go, well, if that was the case, he wouldn't be undefeated right now. If that was the case, he wouldn't be 23-0 with 19 knockouts. If that was really the case, that he was more into social media than he was actual boxing, you would think he'd be doing something a little bit different, or be less in the position that he is, right now. So after, seeing more about Ryan Garcia, because I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those guys. I was looking at him going, he needs to get his head out of the fucking clouds. Stop worrying about, your social media following, and get in the fucking gym and do something, and let's get to work. And he has, so it's kind of at a point right now. I really do like Ryan Davis. I really do like, Ryan Garcia. I really do like Tank Davis. And this is going to be, Tank, like you said, we respect both of the fighters because we both know Tank can knock you out at any point, at any time, with any hand, to be honest. And Ryan is so fast that there are literally videos out there that show some of his knockouts where they had to slow it down to see when the punch landed, because in real time it was so fast you didn't even know it hit. So Ryan went on his post in his press conference. He was talking with did a little interview with the guy, with the Showtime guys, um before the actual press conference, because again, Tank Davis was extremely late, um for the whole thing. And he said it himself. He thinks he's got a good right hand. He's got a sneaky left hand that he likes to say, and most people get knocked out from the one that you don't see. So you can have power and stuff like that, but that doesn't always mean you're going to grant the knockout. But 9 times out of 10, the punch you don't see is the one that's going to put you to sleep. Um, so Ryan, sneaky left hand, uh, Tank, a hellacious uppercut that he generates so much power in that uppercut. It, it's I, it's one of those things where that's not something you can really teach. That's God given. That type of power and stuff like that is God given. And when I look at this fight, it's one of those things that I'm definitely excited for. I want to see a good fight. Especially, the big names and stuff like that going at it. You definitely want to see that. Um, and this fight, hopefully it does what they're kind of trying to set it out to be. Because they're setting it out to be that one that triggers everybody else to follow suit, do the super fight, don't wait till you're out of your, like, do it now. If you want to see who's really the best, get in the ring and let's see who's the best. So, hopefully it's, everyone's kind of expecting a classic. I don't want to overhype it too much. I mean, as much as it is a super fight, if we've learned anything about big time fights on pay-per-view and everything else like that, there is always a chance that all that momentum gets shut down with one single punch. That, for example, UFC 285, the return of John Jones. People paying 70, $100, I think, for the pay-per-view. God knows how much the tickets were to actually get there to watch the fight. And he won in the first minute and a half. So it's like, and then with boxing matches, yeah, you go, oh, it's going to be a classic, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, and then first round knockout, second round knockout, real early knockout or something like, or TKO or whatever happens, something super anticlimactic to kind of take away the classic brand of what the fight is. So I don't want to overhype it too much. Um, but I don't really think I need to be honest. I don't really think I need to hype it or overhype it. There's enough hype in it itself. The fact that it's a super fight that's gonna be, that's gonna sell the tickets. And I'm hoping for a good fight. For I'm hoping for a 12-round fight, but I don't think it's gonna be a 12-round fight. I think somebody's gonna be put to sleep like in the mid rounds. Like a part of me thinks we're looking at a knockout probably in like the seventh or eighth round. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know who. I don't know if it's going to be Ryan knocking out Tank or Tank knocking out Ryan, whichever one it is. But I'm thinking sixth, seventh round. Um, Somebody's going to sleep, and I feel confident in my prediction because I kind of made a prediction for UFC 285, and in the Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko has been on an absolute run in the UFC. Probably one of the best female fighters the UFC has ever seen. But during that fight with Grasso, at least for me, there was an overwhelming feeling that something was going to happen. I didn't necessarily know what. And I remember UFC putting up a post, and it was funny because this one kind of blew up a little bit. There was a post that put up after the third round. It said, where do you see this fight so far? And I had it after the third round. I had it 2-1 Shevchenko. I said, but Grasso is holding her own, and I have this overwhelming feeling that something crazy is about to happen, like something nobody would have predicted. Shortly after that, fourth round, middle of the fourth round, I think there was about 2 minutes left. Grasso gets Shevchenko's back, and Kay, I don't know if you've seen the highlights for it, and if you haven't, I'll show you a little bit later. She had her in for those of you who don't watch MMA and stuff like that, she had her in the rear naked choke, which basically you have the back and you're choking it out. It looks like that, right? Well, the thing was, Grasso didn't have it tight like this underneath the chin. She was like right here at the mouth of Chenko or of Shevchenko. The crazy thing was she was squeezing so tight. It wasn't the fact that she was going to pass out if she didn't tap. It was literally the fact if she didn't tap, she might have gotten her jaw broken. Because, Kay, have you ever seen somebody with a fat tan line? Like they're red all over, but then you see from their bathing suit or something like that, just a fat old tan line.
Yes.
Or like something like from a sunburn type of thing.
I got you. Yes, I have.
Her whole
Yes.
face plus low parts of the upper torso was sunburnt red, while right here across the mouth where she was getting choked right here,
Yeah.
pale white. That's how much she was getting the shit squeezed out of her at that point. Like that was like, holy shit. And it happened, and then I had people on Twitter going, holy shit, dude, you called it, holy shit, you called it. Yep. And I was sitting there. Now look. Sometimes I kind of feel myself a little bit. I feel proud of making a good prediction. everybody feels good about, making a good prediction. I think I went a little too far. I'm over here calling myself fucking Nostradamus. I'm over here saying, yep, it's all going according to plan the way I said it was. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And the overinflation of the ego needs to stop. And I need to stop it for myself, because it's when the overinflation of the ego happens when shit starts to not go my way. That's been very proven throughout my life. So I gotta cut that out a little bit. But it felt good. It felt good to be able to predict something correctly. But hold on, let me get a quick check here. On, so it'll be on in 1 second. Shit, what else? So you're picking Tank, but you're a little weary about it. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for Tank, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, I'm aware of what Ryan Davis brings to the table. I mean,
Right, you
Ryan
did what I
fucking
did.
Garcia.
You did
Yeah,
exactly
no,
what I
listen,
did.
I was listening to you and it fucked me up. So,
Um,
but yeah, I'm well aware of what Ryan Garcia does and who he is and how he gets down.
and to be honest with you, so I don't know how much of it, and we'll talk to Hans when he ends up coming out, but a part of it was like, Ryan and was calling Tank, unprofessional and everything else like that, when because he was late, again, he was super late for the press conference. Ryan was there early, and it just it looked like one of those things where it kind of came off as Tank going like, well, they're not going to start without me, so they're going to start whenever I get there, type of situations.
Mm.
So that I was kind of like, going into a fight like this with a bit of a cocky attitude is not the way you want to go. But here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta do it right. The guest of the day. If only Buffer was just a little bit slower, or a little bit shorter in that. Ladies and gentlemen, our boxing aficionado, FunFightScene.com, Boxing Writers Association of America. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Hans Themistode. What's up, Hans?
What's going on, brother?
We got more sound effects and stuff like that now we can play with. First thing I wanted to ask you, because I could feel it from the message that I got from you when we were kind of talking a little bit through it. How pissed off were you about the press conference?
That was the most ridiculous shit in the history of life, man. Like, that shit was ridiculous, man. That's all I could say, brother. That's all I could say, man.
I'm looking at it going like, all right, well, they were supposed to, okay, a little bit late. Yeah, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of expected to be a little bit late, but a whole almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it going, oh, poor Hans. He's just sitting there going, one of these motherfuckers, just get up here. Like,
Dude was killing me, man. Straight killing me. I'm telling you, man.
the whole delay for what, a 30-minute press conference?
Was it 30 minutes? I'm not even really.
It was
I'm not
short.
even
It was
sure.
short compared to the wait.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, nah, you definitely right about that, for sure. For sure.
I mean, all that aside, first, I actually have to ask you this one. What did you think of Tank's outfit?
Oh man, to be honest, I love the jacket. To be honest with you, like off camera, I asked him what kind of jacket it was. He didn't want to tell me, and and then I told him, I'm like, yo, we like the same size. You know, like, can you just mail it to me? He ain't confirm it, so you know.
It's an
Hopefully he will.
exclusive for him. I'm not gonna lie, I saw him and I was like, the jacket I can do. Then I looked down, I was like, okay, you got jorts and the sparkling shoes and the green handbag. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. That's why I was like, well, and then he had the New York Yankee hat with the baseball sunglasses on. That was kind of an interesting. I mean, I'm not that in tune with fashion these days. So when I looked at it, I was a little thrown off. But but I mean, hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Um, after talking, assuming you talked with both of them.
Yeah.
What was the sense that you got after talking with both of them? Was there, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, after the press conference, it kind of seemed like, oh shit, I don't know, almost Tank like, this is kind of just going through the motions type of thing. And then they had the face off, and when they started actually talking to each other, you couldn't hear what they were saying, at least from our end. But could you hear at all what they were saying to each other during the face off?
Nah, couldn't really hear anything. You know, yeah, couldn't really hear anything. Tried to like do some lip reading and whatever, but couldn't really hear anything though. But I mean, the vibe afterwards was I don't know. Both guys were like pretty calm. I don't think they really took too much out of like the face off or anything like that. But yeah, Tank was calm, but he's always like extremely calm, like
Mm.
extremely calm. Um, Ryan was really calm too. Ryan just came off as like extremely confident, and Tank came off as confident as well. But there was something about Ryan that was just like yo, I'm gonna win this fight like 100%. So
I mean, he's been very vocal that he's been wanting this fight. And I mean, both of them have. But I mean, at least from my point of view, it always seemed like Ryan was doing most of the calling out, and Tank was just kind of like, I'll fight anybody, bro. Good fuck. I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's you, if it's somebody else. I don't give a shit who it is. Like he's got that attitude
mhm.
with it. And then, did you find out at all the reason why the reason why he was so late? Because from what we were being told on, watching it on YouTube and the press conference and everything they had with Showtime, they were making it seem like, oh, he just got caught in the midtown traffic. And what was the real reason why he was late?
Well, I ain't gonna really say much, but I will say that I heard a few things and whatever, and Tank he's an interesting guy, but I'm I'm not I'm not even gonna sit here and just like you know say what I heard or anything like that, but I did hear a few things, and yeah, that's it is what it is.
This is not coming from you, but this is what I'm getting from that. This was all a mind game ploy. This was all a make the man wait. He was, like you said, I'm hearing he's here, but because when you sent me that saying like, well, I'm hearing he's here, I'm like, well, they're saying he's not. I was like, so are they covering up for him, or are they like, what are they? It seemed to me, it came off as one of those. Tank did the whole "they're not going to fucking start without me" type of thing. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get there when I get there. And
Well, I mean, that's Tank. Tank kind of does that with like all his fights, anyways. Like not even just like press conferences. Like he's late a lot, man. Like he really makes people wait like a lot, man. I don't know about anybody else, but I definitely don't appreciate it because it's like, yo, come on, brother. Like, It's like, come
Well, I
on, man.
mean, when you talk about the professionalism, and Ryan made a point in that, with the professionalism and everything else like that, because again, he wasn't just making Ryan wait; he's making everybody wait, everybody in the media, because as if y'all don't got shit else to do with your with your day. There's a
Yeah.
professionalism to it, and to Tank's credit, after the face off and the press conference and everything, he did his interview with the Showtime guys. And he apologized for it. He said, sorry, I should be a little bit more professional. I should have, that's on me. I apologize. So when he did that, I was like, okay. But then a part of it was kind of like, are you sincere with it? Uh,
I mean, I mean, even after like his Showtime press conference, like when he was like talking to us and like the scrums and whatever, he was definitely just like, yeah, I shouldn't have got here so late and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't appreciate him like pulling up like so friggin' late, but it's to me, it's all good. It's water under the bridge. I don't hold nothing against the guy. So, it is what it is, man. We've all been late. I
yeah,
know I do it
yeah.
all the time. So I
I don't think ever in my life I've been 2 hours late, but no, I've been late. I agree.
nah, I've definitely been 2 hours late before. I ain't gonna lie to you. Plus several times. So I can't be too mad at the brother, to be honest.
What was the atmosphere like during that whole thing? That was like everybody talking to each other, like what the hell is going on? Like everybody just scrambling. Like what was the atmosphere like there?
Yeah, no, that was exactly the atmosphere. Everybody was just like, "Yo, what the fuck?" like, like, yo, where's Chang and whatever. And then you hear some people say he's here, other people say he's not here, and then I kind of find out like reasons for like what was going on and whatever. But yeah, that was just the vibe. I mean, you walk in and it was a cool setup. Playing like the knockouts of his fights and the knockouts of Ryan's fights. It was like a real cool setup. But then
Mhm.
it got like real repetitive and really like kind of annoying because like we was just sitting there for like
Watching the same
hours.
replays over and
Mm,
over.
exactly. Like I got there like 11:50 or something like that. So yeah, I was there for like a really long time. So, but hey, what can you do, man?
I'm sure I would have been like, dude, my ass is stored. Like I got to stand up. Like this chair is not comfortable enough for
For
me to be
sure.
sitting 2 hours in. Um,
Sure.
but I mean, obviously, this is the first press conference of probably many to come. Up until April 22nd. But after the first one, I mean, I know this is kind of hard to do, but after the first press conference, after talking to them both, where do you think this fight's gonna go?
What do you mean by that?
As in, like, either picking a winner, are they gonna go all 12? Is somebody getting I had a personal feeling, I'm thinking one of them is getting slept in either 7 or 8.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad prediction, man, but I don't remember who told me, but somebody kind of like reminded me like when you got two guys that hit so friggin' hard, man, like nobody really wants to get knocked out, especially when it's like arguably the biggest fight of the year. Like the stadium's gonna be jam packed,
Mm.
Vegas gonna be buzzing, pay-per-view gonna be going crazy, and then you standing on the other side of the ring and you just like, yeah, I really want to win this fight, but this dude I'm fighting hits really hard. Like, shit, if I'm gonna lose, okay, but I ain't trying to get knocked out though. So,
If
you
you're
know,
gonna lose, let it be by decision, not by going to sleep.
for sure, 100%. So it could be boring, but I mean, I think both guys will be a little bit more cautious. I mean, I really think Tank is gonna be more so the cautious guy because that's typically how he is and whatever. Like he's a huge knockout guy, but he's not a guy that's just gonna like walk right to you in the first, second round and whatever, and just beat the dog shit out of you. I mean, he can, but nah, I think he's gonna take his time for sure.
I was kind of thinking it might be a little bit of the pace of Davis and Rowley. They're both just really cautious of each other, kind of real slow. But then a part of me thinks with the way Garcia fights, I mean, you can look at the history of boxing. It's been a trend for Mexican fighters to push the envelope, to push the fight, to be the one to walk up on you. But with Tank's power being what it is, having a counter uppercut or a left hook that can put anybody to sleep, it's one of those. Does Ryan change up his style at all? Or does he, you know, whatever he's practicing, whatever he's doing, that's what he's going to go with?
Yeah, I don't think Tank. I mean, not Tank. I don't think Ryan's really gonna necessarily change up his style. You know, he's a guy that likes to like come forward. He's not really like a bounce on my toes kind of guy, and try to outbox you. You know, if it goes to the decision with him, he's usually pushing the pace like the entire time. So, I think Tank is gonna have some issues with that, especially in the beginning when Ryan is incredibly fast. I think Tank's gonna have some issues with that, but I think at some point Tank is gonna be like he's gonna do what he's probably just gonna put his hands up really high and try to walk Ryan down. Then get in range and let some bombs go. So, that's what I think he's gonna try to do.
That's what I was gonna say. Is one of the things that kind of, Ryan is taller and definitely has the reach advantage, but I still think I give the power advantage and stuff to Tank.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And
I would say so.
so with Ryan's speed and length, is Tank one of those fighters that it would actually be a mistake to walk up on him, to push the pace on him? Or would you want, so if you're Ryan, do you want Davis pushing the pace or do you want to push the pace?
Um, that's a good question. I don't really think you want Brown. I don't really think you want Javante to push the pace, to be honest, because like Javante could fight coming forward extremely well, but he could fight moving backwards. I haven't really seen Ryan fight too much moving backwards. Not saying that he can't, but I just haven't really seen him do it. And
Mhm.
if you're not really seeing somebody do it, when you're on the biggest stage and like you have a guy who's like kind of forcing you to do it, now it's just like, can you do it when like, all the chips are like pushed to the middle of the table? It's kind of tough, but I definitely don't think Ryan wants Gervonta to like try to like walk him down or anything like that. So yeah, that's not a good recipe, man.
Yeah, no, it's one of these fights that we've been. I mean, me and Kay, we were talking about it a little bit before you hopped on. That Kay likes Tank, but he is very aware of the speed and everything else that Ryan brings. So that's one of the beauties that I like about super fight. And you've heard me. I hate it when people fucking duck each other. That pisses me off more than anything else. When all these super fights that could be happening don't happen for whatever dumbass Crawford Spence, for example. Just all of these super mega fights, and it seems like all of these fighters seem to just they want to pat the record book and get all these titles without really having anybody worthy on the resume. So, and they were talking about it going, hopefully this fight triggers a momentum of super fight that just keeps coming. That these big time fighters, big name fighters, you know settle in the ring who's the best.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
hopefully with this one, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and hold my breath for Crawford and Spence anymore. That's just I'm not going to do it. I just refuse to do it now. But I'm hoping, it does achieve that goal, because me being a boxing fan, and I'm sure you as well, I'm sure you would love to see mega fights on a more regular basis than what they are.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that like a lot of fighters kind of I kind of want to say like their personality, their persona, like who they kind of are, kind of gets wrapped up into that. Oh, like I know like way too many fighters when they pick up their first loss, they're just like they get depressed about it. They get like really, really upset about it. And the upset about it thing is okay. The depressed thing, like it happens. Like it doesn't. Wait, am I still on?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just soloing you out. Clips and stuff,
Yeah, I just don't. It's just not really a big deal to me. Like if somebody loses, but I don't know. For like a lot of fighters, when they do lose, though, they kind of have a hard time getting back into the mix and winning big fights. It's I'm not gonna say more often than not, but like a fighter that you think was like really great at one point, he loses, and then he'll pick up a few smaller wins, and then he'll lose to like another great fighter, and then he'll pick up a few smaller wins, then he'll lose to like another great fighter. So there's not a lot of guys like a Jermell Charlo. Lose to Tony Harrison, wins the rematch, wins all his big fights, gets into a draw with Castano, beats him in the rematch. Like there's really not a lot of guys like that, and that's why I respect Charlo so much. Like he can lose, but he's gonna learn from it. He's gonna like bounce right back. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just looking at it going, I'm wondering because back in the day you had fighters that you had some fighters they're fighting 4 or 5 times a year,
Mm.
type of thing, and I feel like nowadays when you're talking about that's why a lot of people put, when Mayweather went 50-0, had such 50 wins. Like I was like, that was cakewalk to guys like Julio Cesar Chavez back in the day, and Joe Louis and all these other like with 50 plus, like 100 plus fights, on their records and stuff like that. Is it? Does that have anything to? I feel like it does, but what you just said, with people having a hard time kind of coming back after the first loss, is that pretty much the reason? Like their confidence gets so shot after a first loss, they just don't want to fight anymore. Like
I don't I
how?
don't I don't know if it's their confidence that gets shot, but if a fighter loses, I do think that like fighters um they fight really they fight really infrequently. Um but that's kind of been the case through like a lot of boxing history, like people have like this misconception of like I've always seen like this one meme or like picture or whatever. It would be like Mike Tyson fought 15 times in 1 year before. And I think he did. He was either like 14 or 13 times, something like that in 1 year. But that was like all the way in the beginning of his year. When like Tyson, like in the beginning of his career, when Tyson was really Tyson, he was not fighting 15 times a year, man. he, he he really was not, man. He was probably fighting 3 times, 2 times, 4 times the most sometimes. But
Mm.
even when he fought those 4 times, like 3 of those dudes would be like, "Yo, didn't this guy just deliver me a pizza earlier today?" So I just think it's like it gets overblown too much. And the thing with Floyd, 50 wins or 50 fights in his career probably isn't like a shit ton, but he did fight guys that were like really notable. And when you look at, people kind of laugh at like a Robert Guerrero. You look back, that win didn't really age well, but like he beat some solid guys, and he beat Andre Berto at the time, who was like
Mm.
he was like one of those dudes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah, I just think that kind of gets overblown. But I would like to
So
see guys definitely fight more.
yeah. So I mean that it sounds like early in the career you want to get as many fights under your belt as you possibly can, and then after that it kind of slows down. So is the infrequency of fights due to there's just not really a fight that's intriguing out there, or is it more of the I want to preserve myself type of thing?
To me, number one, when you're fighting like so many times a year, like these guys in the beginning of their careers, um, I mean, number one, you want to get the experience. You know, you really want to get that experience, like fighting with no headgear, um, fighting with your shirt off, you know, and just being a pro. Like you really want to you want to get all that experience. You know, also you want to get paid. You know, 'cause that's your job, man. So you want to get paid, but you know, once you hit like the elite level, it's like you know you're putting your body through more wear and tear with like the training camps. For each fight that you're taking, like you're making more money anyways. So yeah, it's like it's a really big difference, and I think people really unfairly criticize places like PBC when they're just like their fighters aren't really active like that, which is
Mm,
like it's BS. Like everybody's like that. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
because if I don't know, it could be like a David Benavidez, and realistically, you could get Benavidez before he was fighting Plant. You could get him like 3 fights a year. But if you get those two or maybe all three of those fights aren't going to be guys that you really want to see him fight. You know
mm,
what I mean? So it's just that when you get to that elite level, it's kind of hard to just be like, all right, 2 fights a year. All right, here's two elite guys this year. And we're going to keep doing that year after year after year after year. It doesn't really go like that, man. Like even look at who Shakur Stevens is fighting. He's fighting a really good guy, but you know a lot of people don't really like respect him because they don't know who he is, even though he beat a former world champion in Ito and he knocked out Nakatani. He's a good fighter, but people aren't really looking at it and giving the guy a chance at all. I mean, I'm
mm.
not either, to be fair. But to be fair, but like Shakur isn't fighting no bum, but people would say that he is though. So yeah, I just think it's like a misconception of like the whole inactivity, especially when it comes to like PBC.
Mm. Well, I mean, I just kind of, I mean, when you put it to the point where the infrequencies of fights, it has something to do with the level of competition that you're fighting.
Mhm.
Um, you know, the if you're not getting touched, you know, of course you can run, you know, 3, 4, 5 times in a year because you're not getting touched. Nobody's good enough to hit you. But then when you get to actual, you know, that professional elite level, it's a very different story. You know,
Not even
so
necessarily though. Not even necessarily. Like when you look at a guy like Wilder, who literally didn't get hit. he he didn't get hit against Hellenius. He could have fought next week,
yeah.
but when he fought in October, he still hasn't fought yet. And we're in March, so it's not like it's been like a really long time. But just theoretically speaking, like yo, he could have just had like a really quick turnaround. He really could have fought in like a month or something like
Mm.
that, you know. But yeah, that's just how it goes, man. You got the guy for 1 year, one time a year, twice a year. You know, fans just have to be happy with that, you know.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We
Well,
don't.
you don't got to be happy, but you got to accept it. That's the way it's gonna be, man.
Yeah, yeah. See that's more of a actually no, no, we don't. Bullshit. We got to figure out how to get these fights more for at least at least as a boxing fan, I want to see these rising star, you know, athletes as much as I possibly can. Now, if that means, you know, basically in like a rotation, you have a couple of guys, you know, here and there, you know, that's fine. But when I look at guys like Ryan Garcia, at Tank, Stevenson, Charlo, you know, Wilder, all of these, you know, you know, just to name a few, these are guys that are entertaining. These are guys that I love watching in the ring. And it sucks that I have to basically accept, you know, seeing them once, maybe twice a year if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
right.
it's like, is there anything, at least in your opinion, that could be done to make it a little bit more frequent?
I mean, to me, the only thing you could really do is, you know, if fans are willing to see like, you know, if Spence fights Thurman, cool. But then, are you guys willing to see Spence fight like a Mean Machine, which is like, a lot of people are gonna be like, no, we don't want to see that fight. So it's you guys would have to be willing to see Spence or other top name fight guys that are a little bit lower on the totem pole,
Mm.
or if you're gonna fight Thurman, cool. You will make $2-3 million or whatever amount you make. But if you fight Mean Machine, all right, we got to chop that salary in half. You know what I mean, or maybe
Mhm.
less, or even more than that. You know what I mean? So I think there's certain things that probably can be done, but you're just wasting your breath, man. It's not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen.
Did you? Oh, I'm sure you did. What were your thoughts on UFC 285 on the whole event as a whole?
On the whole event, the whole event to me was, it wasn't a good card to me. Like on paper, it wasn't a card where I was just like, oh shit, like I really wanna see this.
Hmm.
But like the main event was just like that was the one.
Right. And having Johnny Bones come back and uh, I thought it was kind of funny, to be honest. A lot of people were upset that oh, John Jones, that fight it only lasted about a minute and a half, and I'm like, well, look who you coming to see fight. You
Yeah.
got John Jones. Historically, he doesn't really go the distance very often. So,
Lately, yes. Those last few years, he was definitely going the distance, and I didn't think he was going to do that to Gon. I thought he was going to win, but he's the best, man. Like, I wish people like just leave that conversation alone, man. Like, it's the best fighter ever, ever.
and I'm looking forward to his match with Stipe. Um, that's a fight. Like when Jones he's fighting Gon. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I first saw it, I was like, I had to do a little bit of research on Gon. I was like, I don't feel like I've seen this guy enough to really know, how good that he is. Stipe, on the other hand, I know Miocic is
He's good
one of the top guys.
for sure. I just don't think he's really. I don't think he's really going to do it. I don't think he. Yeah, I just can't see it. Not against Jones, like Ngannou is the only guy that you're just like, oh, okay, like what's gonna happen? Because
Do you
it's
think
like,
he comes back?
I hope he's really the only guy, man. Because he not only has his wrestling improved, yo, he's so strong. Like if you actually watch the fight against Gon, he ain't use no technique. He just bullied him, man. Like he's so strong. And the way Jones was fighting against Gon, he was just coming straight forward. I highly doubt he's gonna come straight forward against Ngannou like that. Ain't no way in hell, bro. So that's the fight I really want to see. But Stipe, still a great fighter. I don't think he's gonna beat Jones, but great fighter. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
I
it.
was looking at it with Ngannou because he came out with the social media post, say, oh, good job, Johnny boy, sincerely the real heavyweight king. And I looked at that going, there's no way Ngannou Jones doesn't happen within the next 2 years. I don't think there's any way that, regardless of what Ngannou says, what Jones says, what anybody else says, I don't think the competitor, especially in Ngannou, is gonna just let the talk fly. He's gonna have to prove it. He can't just be sitting after every John Jones fight going, sincerely the heavyweight king. Well,
For sure.
eventually that's gonna run out of steam because you're gonna need to fight the heavyweight freaking king if you want to have that crown.
For sure. My only thing is like he got to fight him. Like I don't necessarily want to say this year, but I would say he got to fight him before he does boxing, man. Because and just win, lose, or draw. Because unless he goes into like a fight with like Wilder and somehow he beats Wilder, which would be like absurd. But if he does that, then okay, cool. But I just kind of feel like he loses a lot of luster if he goes in there and he gets knocked out by Deontay or something like that and whatever. And people are gonna say, yeah, but it's a different sport and whatever. I understand that, but a lot of people look at Ngannou like, yo, that's the baddest dude on the planet. So it's like, yo, to see him get knocked out, it takes a little away from it to me, anyways.
Yeah, no, if he goes and does boxing and fights, like you said, Wilder or Fury or whoever, because Fury's even been, talking about having, hey, Ngannou, you want to make big money, come in, if, like you said, if Ngannou goes into boxing and just, I don't want to say gets destroyed because I think he's a better fighter than that, but like either gets knocked out or it takes away from the luster. It takes away
Sure.
from star power. So you
Sure.
can't really lose in boxing and then be like, all right, I'm gonna demand my fight with John Jones now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think he could, like, he could. I mean, if he's willing to go in there against Wilder, and I don't want to say 100% he'll get knocked out. I don't want to disrespect the guy, but in a boxing match, brother, only one person on earth has not been knocked out by Deontay Wilder. So, if you do that and you get knocked out and you get like 30 million, great. And if you want to go back to the UFC, I would say he should probably get like 2 fights in the UFC, knock out a few dudes, and then show like, yeah, like I'm still that guy before going into a Jones fight.
and then Jones was talking about how he's not going to compete anymore if he doesn't get to tape his toes. Now, a part of me goes, well, the reason why he's taping it up, I understand it. It's injury related. But when you have taped up toes or taped up feet, I mean, I don't really see Jones throwing a whole lot of, head kicks and stuff like that. He's, at least from what I've seen, it's a lot of elbows, a lot of knees, a lot, he throws kicks, but not nearly at the same clip as a lot of other guys do. So, but when I see somebody with a taped up foot, I'm like, well, if he decides to kick somebody in the head, that's going to hurt and cut up a whole lot worse because you got tape running across your face now, as well as his foot.
Yeah, but I just kind of feel like he was doing that forever, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really strongly believe if they told him that you can't do it, I really believe he'll be like, all right, cool, I'll walk away, like I'm not fighting no more. 'Cause he already like cemented himself. He was ready to go cemented, but like the double goat, I guess. Like
Can you can you imagine if John Jones entrance walk gets to the ring, they tell him he can't do, and he just, all right, I'm leaving, and just walks out.
I, I think if they told him that like the night before or something, he probably wouldn't have been with it. But he was already right there, and he looked at Gon like he was food. So it was just like, all right, man, let me just dog walk this dude and get this belt, man. But he was probably pissed off about it.
I mean, it looked way too, because again, John Jones. I mean, say what you want about him, about the steroid accusations and the juicing and all that other kind of stuff. Say what you want, but skill is, like, you can take all the freaking juice that you want, but if you're not skilled, it doesn't really matter. If you don't have the
I mean,
technique, if you don't have everything else like that, it doesn't really matter. John Jones, and and I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a post from John Jones that, I guess, the USDA, or is it USDA, USADA, the drug testing um people, I should say, uh that they had changed um their rulings on what's illegal and what's not illegal. And it come to find out, because of that change, every time that John Jones had gotten busted, it wouldn't have he wouldn't have gotten busted had the rules been what they are today. Now, so if that's the case, and then that completely, for me, it's almost like the Barry Bonds situation. He was never proven, he was never, tested positive. He never never proven guilty. Hey, therefore he didn't do it. Well, now I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but he was under the levels where the drug testing organization is now put. So I look at it and go, okay, well, if you look at the rules of today, he did nothing wrong back then. But if you look at the rules back then, obviously he did something wrong. But I still, even with that argument, I mean, shit, even Chael Sonnen said that he was juicing up too when he fought, John Jones and everything. So it's kind of like one of those things where, and the UFC, I mean, they've had trouble in that department when it comes to guys testing positive for steroids and everything else like that. So I don't think any of those accusations takes away from the fact that John Jones, God, man, out of every MMA fighter in history, who can you really compare
Nobody.
to him?
That's the point. Nobody. Nobody.
Who do you? Because again, the guy is just so skilled at what he does. It's hard to not call him I mean, they call Khabib the GOAT. They call GSP the GOAT. They call Royce Gracie, the GOAT because he went, a long time, with an undefeated record before he lost. It gets really murky when you talk about GOAT conversations.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I'm in a lot of other sports, yes, it does. But I'm just saying for this one,
Yeah, not at all for this one. Other sports, yeah. For this one, not at all.
you can't make an argument.
Yeah, like not at all. Not even a little bit.
So I mean, like I said, with his match coming up against Stipe, I'm looking forward to that, and I really do think Ngannou's only going to really watch it for so long before he says, you know what, okay, no, I need to prove that I'm better than him.
For sure.
I need to
agree.
prove that I'm so like I said, in 2 years, I really do think within 2 years it's going to happen. But if it takes, and I kind of see it playing out the way you said, if he does end up going to boxing, and, gets wiped the floor with or whatever and has to come back to UFC and it'll take a little bit longer than 2 years in order to get that fight done. But then I say within 2 years because I mean, they're not getting any younger. They're both going to be kind of pushing past their prime by then. And to be honest, I don't that regardless of who the two are, I don't think it'll be as good of a fight if it waits longer than than it happening this year or next year. There's more hype and there's more mega fight atmosphere if they do it damn near now than they would, a few more years down the line. Just the buzz just won't be there anymore.
I agree. 100%. I agree with you.
So, but there's a whole the fight game is never ending. Obviously April 22nd. That's the mega fight that everybody's looking forward to. But are there any fights coming up that people should be keeping their eye on with interest?
Of course. Benavidez versus Plant. It's in a few weeks too. Yeah, of course. It's a big one. It's a huge fight. I don't want to say mega fight, but it's a gigantic fight for sure.
Benavidez versus Plant. Yeah, I mean, I like Caleb Plant. I mean, a part of me, because he was taking Canelo to town before, ended up getting dropped.
I wouldn't say all of that.
I don't know, Hans. He was putting some work on him.
He was definitely putting in work. And I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Like, when a guy loses his undefeated record, kind of feels like he kind of just like lost a piece of himself. And like this whole time, I've been saying Benavidez is gonna win, but it's something about Plant, man. It's really something about this dude that just makes me say like, yo, he's different, man. I don't really know what it is. I think it's more so just like his mentality. He just seems different. And it just seems like he could just like bounce back from a loss. And I'm not even gonna count the Darrell thing, but just it just feels like he could bounce back from a loss and just pick up a gigantic win. I
Yeah.
really feel it. I'm still going with Benavidez a little bit, but right now I'm just like Plant just giving me that. Oh, yeah, he might do this shit. So yeah.
Has Nico Ali Walsh grown on you a little bit yet?
Yeah, nah, that's my guy. Yeah, I like
A
Nico.
little,
You
little
know,
bit.
he's not a bad fighter, man. Whenever I see him in person,
Last
he's
time I
cool.
asked you about him, you were like, eh.
Yeah, because people kind of just like, I mean, they talk about him a little too much for a guy that's like 8-0,
It's the
9 and
name.
0, and doesn't really have like a ton of amateur pedigree or anything like that and whatever. But
Mhm.
he's getting better. He's a good fighter. I like him as a person. He's definitely very, very cool. And he's getting better. I just think people should just like relax a little bit, man. And like too many people are just talking shit about him. Like, dude to
I,
fight.
oh
I
yeah,
want
no,
to see
I've
how he looks.
definitely when I've seen some of his fights. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get the criticism and everything. It comes in the name. You got the Ali name. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Sure.
going to happen. There's going to be the comparisons, and it's unfair to him, to be completely honest, because there's never going to be another Muhammad Ali.
For
But
sure.
with Nico Ali Walsh, what I've seen from him, um, I don't want to say that he's 100% ready for a title shot right now because I don't necessarily think that's the case. Like you said, he's probably going to need a little bit more polishing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, I give him 2, 3 more fights,
No,
and he's there.
no.
Longer? A little bit longer than that?
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't know.
Let's not take it overboard. No. Probably like probably like 10 more fights. 10, 15 more fights. Like
Really?
he's
That
good.
long, huh?
Yeah, he's green, man. And let's not bring up title shots. I think he can get there. I think he has the potential to get there. I think he has the skills. His skills are pretty good and they're getting better. But I also think you know, I think he does have a good mindset the way he goes into fights. Like after all of his fights, he always goes up to Tim Bradley and asks him for his opinion and for advice. And I think that's great. So I think he's learning, and I think at some point he can get there. Not anytime soon, but at some point I think he can get there for sure.
Well, no, I agree with you on that point. Maybe not the amount of fights, but I definitely agree that he needs more work before he actually gets to that point. I just figure, it's one of those things, we just talked about it, putting up a string of wins before you actually get to that point, but at what point do you really start to test the skill? And that's, for me, once you get past that 10-win mark, it's kind of open season. I want to see how good you really are. I want to see where your skill sets are compared to these, top guys. So that's when I give him 2 to 3, I want to say, all right, well, let's give him a test. Maybe not, one of the top 3 pound for pound guys, but at least somebody there who's actually, you know,
Nah, he has to keep going through stages. He's going through the stage right now, fighting quote unquote nobodies, and then he'll eventually fight somebody with like a good looking record, like a really good looking record on paper that people don't really know too much about. And then he'll continue to fight a few guys like that. And then eventually he'll fight like a former world champion. But he's definitely a faded former world champion. And then he'll fight like top 10 guys and like top 5 guys. And then eventually, as long as he keeps winning, he'll get there. But it's definitely gonna take more time. So yeah, Nico, he's
couple of
not there yet.
years.
Yeah. But like I said, I think he can get there. I do think he can. I don't think a lot of people think he can, but I actually do think he can get there at some point.
Yeah. No, I like him. I from what I've seen from him, there's definitely a whole lot of potential there. Like I said, I don't want to be that guy that puts the all the expectations and stuff like that because of the last name, and I don't want to be, because I think that's unfair to athletes everywhere at any sport. When you
Mhm.
start getting compared to, your dad or your grandfather, your uncle, who was an all-time great and stuff, there's just there's expectations that you're just not gonna meet, and putting certain expectations on them, it it does damage to the career. It really does, because then you literally put one loss on the kid and it's all over. Yep,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
done. He's not getting, so, I like him. I think he's gonna be, a few years, down the line or whatever. I think he's gonna be somebody that, we'll be talking about on this show going, maybe him and somebody else somewhere down the line with a mega fight, or, hopefully he gets to that point, because, like I said, there's a lot of potential with him that shouldn't go unnoticed. I think he's somebody that people should be, keeping their eye on in the years to come.
Sure.
Um,
100%.
so, but Hans, thank you again, my friend, joining us on this late Wednesday night after a long day out in the press conferences.
Mm.
But again, appreciate you coming on and talking about the fight game, my friend.
Got you, brother. We'll talk again soon, man.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen of the Jaffo Army, Hans Themistode, appreciate you. Always good stuff. Talking to Hans. Very informative, very in tune to the game. He's very ear to the ground. He knows his shit. So to be able to talk with him on the show about everything, always great. So hope to talk to him again soon. Hopefully maybe we can get him before or maybe after the Garcia Davis fight, as that one kind of ramps up and gets forward. But again, just talking the fight game with Hans, I'm sure we can go all day and continue to.
I'm logging in with my computer.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what am I? I was like, why am I looking at two different ones here? Thoughts, K, on Mr. Themistode.
Well, I kind of need you to add me in with the
Oh,
other computer.
okay. That one, and then I'll remove that one. Oop, wait, that one. There we go.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
I'll put this down now. All right. So, yeah, I agree with a lot. Bones beating up somebody in under 2 minutes. Yeah, that speaks volumes. So,
I mean, the Jones is.
honestly, dude, that's about as much as I got right there. I don't know. Like, y'all covered a lot, and a lot of shit I did not know about. I mean, some of these fighters y'all was talking about, I had no idea who they were.
I should probably.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the guy.
That's on me. Okay.
The African guy, I know
Ngannou.
who it is. I haven't seen one of his fights. Only seen highlights, and I'd be like, "Goodness, fucking gracious!"
That's on me. I feel like I should be, at least from what I'm seeing, I should be presenting that information to you more often. That's on me.
No, you can't beat yourself up for that shit. I mean, even if you sent it to me, if I'm fucking busy, I ain't gonna be able to see it either way. So,
Well, it helped with the Formula One thing when I sent you the beginner's guide or whatever.
oh hell yeah! Because honestly, like I said, I didn't want to sound like a dumbass and be like just only going off of the one episode that I watched and be like, oh yeah, like let me try to get in this conversation and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like,
But I mean, when it comes to the fighters and stuff like that, I'll try to be sure, like if there's new info or something like that that I'm seeing, to be able to send it to you, so that you can at least, like you said, you're not in a situation where you have no idea who we're talking about, type of thing.
yeah.
So again, that's on me in that case. But this one's gonna be on you. You got the Popple ad?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get some more conversation after Kay reads you this message from Popple.
I'm trying to find this fucking picture. I screenshot it, so I got it. So much. All right. All right. So look, guys, I told y'all the last time because I didn't record it. Next time I read it. Oh, on my version. All right. So back before Popple, people had to give paper cards, and that was actually the worst way of doing things. People stuff it in their wallet. They'll place them wherever. You know, if you like me, I'll put that joint in my wallet and they'll get tethered. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be like, well, who is this? And completely forgot about the conversation. Now, with Popple, you can pretty much connect with anybody, you know, via, you know, cell phones, apps, and things of that nature. They have an all-in-one platform, you know, that brings, you know, interpersonal relationships and connections online closer together. You know what I'm saying? So a huge part of Popple's culture, you know what I mean, is to build a sustainable, you know what I'm saying, solutions for, you know, every work environment and stuff like that. So the technology they have, it takes away cutting down trees, it takes away, you know, unnecessary paper, and your wallet gets smaller. Because if you like me, like I said, I place some cards right in my wallet and they'll get tabbed. So make sure you guys, you know, when you go to popple.co, popple.co, like it said on the screen, make sure you put PBB family to get 20% off on your order. And at Popple, they help business professionals network better. And that's my version.
Perfect.
I had to put some flavor on it. There was no energy in that fucking script.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a script. It doesn't make it your own. That's good. So before we go on, great news, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, Grenada Bros Productions LLC is 100% official. 100% official. Yep.
Bring the pesos to us immediately. we try to sell whatever you got. Hey, like Dave Chappelle said, we'll sell Coke and Pepsi the same damn day.
But this, as most of you guys know, if you've been listening, if you've been watching, you've been talking with us, you guys know that this has been a long time coming type of thing. It's something that I've been to be honest, really dreaming of and really trying to get out there. As you know, it's really been something that, and again, I can't, it's hard for me to really speak because I'm kind of getting emotional about it, because it is really, it's a big deal for me.
We gotta have the awes. We gotta have the awes.
I don't have the
children's
awes.
choir. We gotta have
I don't have the
choir.
awes. I have the more the crybaby little laughing.
Nah, that'll bring you, that'll bounce you back. That'll bounce you back. We need that studio. Oh, I'm getting emotional, guys. Oh.
But like in all reality, you know, I honestly, Kay, I gotta thank you. I gotta thank Mad Sticks, Sunshine, you know, my wife, you know, everybody else like that who's been um with me on this entire journey, because it hasn't always been easy. It's been stressful. Um it's been a grind. But it being official now. I can't thank anybody else enough um, for helping get to this point. So really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate the Jaffo Army for hanging out and laughing with us. Appreciate everybody who has been with us since day one and stuff like that. Leslie, Gunner Sports, Coach Zoe, Hans, Corey, Raise Energy, Popple, Groundbreaking Enterprises, everybody who has been with us through this entire point. I got nothing but love for you guys, and I absolutely appreciate everything that you guys have done for this to get to this point. So again, Tornado Bros Productions, 100% official. And from here on out, you're gonna be hearing and seeing a whole lot more of us. Different platforms going to be getting Logical Senses back up and running again. I'm really, really, really interested in trying to bring the wrestling podcast, the Ring Psychology podcast back. So I want to get that one because it's just me. I like professional wrestling. I like talking about it. I ain't afraid and ashamed to say it. It is what it is. And we got Brian, who unfortunately you guys met him last Friday. The reason why he's not here with us today helping us out with all the behind the scenes stuff is because he's at the AEW event here in Sacramento over at the Golden One Center today. So and he's a big pro wrestling guy. He's to give a little background about him, he did a lot of things for Rival Forge Wrestling. He's been doing with the Bay Area, and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of experience when it comes to the wrestling game.
Hell yeah.
And as well as the radio and everything else like that. So maybe getting with him to get that thing going again. But there's a lot of things that we want to do, especially now that things are official. There's things that we couldn't go ahead.
Dude, hold on. I just thought about it right now. Our team is pretty fucking physical. We have a very physical team. You got Brian that wrestles and Mad Six that does fucking karate, or I don't know what form of martial arts he does, but he's a black belt in one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So we both play football.
Yep. Sunshine also plays football.
Exactly. And Corey plays football right now.
Yep.
We have a very physical team. I feel like our team can beat anybody else's team.
Oh, I think without a doubt, to be honest with you.
If we play flag football against other podcasts, I think we can take other people.
Think so.
We have a quarterback. We have two quarterbacks.
We have two. I was gonna say we have two quarterbacks.
Two quarterbacks. and a special package quarterback.
Yeah, that we do.
We have guys that can play multiple positions.
I love how you had to add that in there, the special package quarterback.
Hey, bro. People don't see that shit coming. They think it's a run, and they're like, holy shit, he can throw.
He's got an arm. Oh, shit. But yeah, everybody a part of the team. Thank you guys. And we're again with the business now official, that's going to open up a lot of things for us, things that we couldn't do before that now we by all means can. So it's going to be fun. The grind doesn't stop. It doesn't stop now that things are official. So we only build and grow from here. So once again, appreciate you guys. And
be on the lookout for the Jaffos pet calendar. Everybody but me will be in there with pets. Allergic to animal hair, but that's neither here nor there. More cats, but that's neither here nor there.
I was about to say, I was like, I could let you borrow my dog, but
I can definitely pose with Sweeney if he's chill.
Oh, he's definitely chill.
If he's, I'm in that moment. Sometimes, he goes off the hinges sometimes.
Oh, yeah. But for the most part, he's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty chill, dog.
But yes, everything is official. Be on the lookout. Spread the word. Hit the comments. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Everything that you got to do. You got to see all the little social media handles and stuff like that right there at the ticker. Before we get going, I had to talk about it. Something is happening with Lamar Jackson right now that I do not understand.
Holy fuck, I knew you was going there. I was trying to get to the picture fast enough. I knew you were going there. I knew it. I swear I knew it. When you sighed, I was like, I know he's going to talk about Lamar.
You know, so, for those of you who've been hiding or living under a rock, the Baltimore Ravens put was it the non-exclusive?
Non-exclusive.
The non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar
that's
Jackson, meaning
again.
that teams can essentially negotiate a contract with Lamar, and the Baltimore Ravens have the option of either matching the offer or surpassing it, or accepting 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. So what's starting to confuse me is not so much as, I mean, we've all been known the Ravens have been on that bullshit for for a while now. You got an MVP quarterback who's taken you to the playoffs pretty much every freaking year that he's been starting. He's got an insane winning percentage record now. I think he's 46-16 as a starter right now with an MVP. He's 24 years old. And the fact that they haven't paid Lamar Jackson yet is an absolute travesty for the NFL. Now, what's confusing me the most is a lot of the teams that were rumored to be interested in Lamar Jackson. And there are a lot of teams who need a quarterback. They brought out a list of teams that were not interested. And on that list, you had Atlanta, Miami, Green Bay. You had all these, the Colts, a team that you and I have spoke about possibly going to get Lamar.
They said they're not interested, all those teams?
That they're not interested.
Oh, I fucking love it, Atlanta. You're still stupid. Yes. 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 They're going forward with Desmond. Oh, thank you. Let him go through his growing pains. Thank you so fucking much. Oh, thank you, Atlanta. I don't give a fuck where he goes now. As long as it's in Atlanta, Carolina, I don't give a fuck. They already got a quarterback in New Orleans. Oh, somebody go pick up another shitty quarterback in the NFC South. Come on, Carolina. I know you got it in you. Don't get Lamar.
Oh. But here's one that I saw that confused me the most. And I don't know how to feel about it. Apparently, there's talks about the 49ers going for him. Now, first thing that popped into my head.
Well, Kyle Shanahan gonna hurt him.
But
damn, don't do that, dog. Don't go there. You don't want to get hurt.
The first thing I thought of when that popped up as a possibility.
Don't do that.
Is one, how the hell would we be able to make that happen? Because again, with having to give up the 2 first-round picks, I was thinking about it. I was like, we don't have any first-round picks. But then I actually looked at it, and we actually have first-round picks next year for 2004 or 2024 and 2025. Mm-hmm. So now it puts in the aspect of, okay, we can and we have the picks to be able to give the 2 first-round picks. But then I thought about it going, why would they take that? Because they would have to wait a year in order to get or to benefit from that first-round pick.
Do that people and show you how sorry he is. What the fuck? Go ahead, do it.
And then they had, people saying, well, trade Trey Lance and the 2 first-round picks in order to get Lamar. So
Trey.
that further told me
Trey. You think they gonna say give us Brock. Fuck y'all talking about. Give us Brock.
right,
Give
right. That's what I was saying. I was like, they're not gonna ask for Trey, they're gonna ask for Brock, but
You will give a fuck about that injury. We'll give a fuck.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We'll rest
We're
him.
gonna have to give up Brock
We'll
instead.
let Snoop play this year.
But I look at it going, how the fuck would we pay him without having to
Everybody restructure.
uh,
Literally.
I mean, it's not, at least from what I've seen and what I've researched and stuff like that, it's not out of the realm of possibility that can happen. People getting restructured contracts or making Lamar's contract to the kind of like how they did with Patrick Mahomes' contract, front heavy or back heavy to be able to help, with the cap space and everything else like that. They can be able to do things like that because they still have priorities that they need to sign, guys like Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner when his contract and stuff like that comes along and stuff like that, and that too. And what?
This is a bigger fantasy than me talking about him coming to Tampa, bro.
I mean, but we're also 3rd highest in cap space.
Okay, but you just named 2 players y'all got to dump a bag on. You had the NFL sack leader. You think you ain't got to pay this man?
Yeah, but even Bosa came out said he's not necessarily looking to be the highest paid defensive player. He could be trying to go for one of those team friendly. I don't know.
Man, come on.
I don't know.
One of them boys gonna want some money, and then even if you don't, you can say that shit all you want to. Somebody gonna offer that man a contract he can't refuse. He gonna look at that shit like, man, shit.
But think about this, Kay. You don't have to pay nearly as much for a defensive end and a linebacker as you would as a quarterback.
I agree with that. But once you dump the bag on the quarterback, you ain't gonna have the money for the linebacker and the damn fucking defensive goddamn it lineman.
I mean, Fred Warner's contract doesn't come until I think after next year, if I'm not mistaken.
2 years. And Bosa next year. So you gotta pay.
No, they're gonna re-sign Bosa this year. That's a priority. They need to re-sign him this year.
You got 2 guys you trying to dump a Brinks truck on. Man, all right. I mean, like you said, it's possible. It's very unlikely, but it's very possible. Well, all I'm saying is y'all gonna do this shit, and then y'all still not going to Super Bowl. Then there's gonna be another excuse.
I mean, I looked at it going like,
B Rabbit, boy, he'll choke a goddamn game off, bro.
I thought about it going like, I mean, would it be a good idea to get him? Yeah. I mean, he's a proven talent. He's young.
Well, come off foul of Pompano, you know what I'm saying? Go back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it ain't Miami, but shit, like, you might well, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that shit they talking about. Like, shit, I'll tell you right now, you got receivers better than they receivers. I'm gonna tell you right now, you got over there in the Niners, yeah, they run a good little system. Yeah, they O-line decent. You know what I'm saying? You got one guy, he good, but he high-headed. You know what I'm saying? Defense is solid as a rock. Them DBs ain't. But like I said, the interior defensive line is nice. But at the same time, if you look at Tampa, we the same situation. We got 3 rising D linemen. We got receivers. You hear me? Receiver. We got real receivers. We got Mr. Consistent on our team, bro. Like, you guaranteed to have a receiver over 1,000. You guaranteed to have 2 receivers over 1,000, bro.
Okay, I know you said that you're not going to entertain the fantasy.
Fuck that. All right, shit, we negotiate. Fuck it. We all out here now.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm seeing the Bucks' name pop up too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, shit, that make most sense. I don't know who like, oh man. I was talking to my boy. I think it was my boy, because I don't think you said that, because I know you know how I feel about that shit. I was talking to my boy, like, you know what I'm saying, down there like a little brother, you know what I'm saying? yesterday. We was talking about the shit. He just called me out the blue. You know what I'm saying? He was at work. I was working. But we was just talking football, and he was just like, he's like, yeah, like I can see the Bucks trading Vita Vea. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you almost got hung up on. The fuck is wrong with you? You almost got hung up on. Firstly, and secondly,
you and I talked about that.
huh?
You and I talked about that too. Of
And you saw how dismissive I was to you. That's why I said you know how I feel about that.
who were we talking about? Stop it. Who were we talking about for like a trade? There was a trade scenario that we had thought of.
I told him, I said again, I trade every one of my DBs before I trade goddamn Vita Vea. I promise you. And I love Antoine Whitfield. I trade his ass before I trade Vita Vea, bro. That's on everything. I don't give a fuck how hurt he been. That man is
anchor of that defense, man.
He is impactful.
Big time.
So,
big time. Yeah. So, but and then I saw something going. It looks like the Ravens are kind of playing it to the point where they're going to match whatever offer that Lamar gets, no matter what, no matter who it is. They are just trying to gauge what the market is going to be for them to have to pay up. And I don't understand why they don't want to pay, because look, Daniel Jones just got paid, 4 years, $160 million.
Hey, when I looked at that shit, somebody put up the stats. And the one thing I noticed, right, Lamar had more yards, obviously, and he had the MVP and shit. But when you look at touchdowns and INTs, Lamar had like 106 or something like that to 24 INTs, and Daniel Jones had 12 INTs to 60 touchdowns. And I was looking at that shit, I'm like, well, if Daniel Jones doubles his production, touchdowns, INTs, he'll have more than Lamar. If he just get 24 interceptions, just double his touchdowns, he has more touchdowns than Lamar. And here's why I was saying the reason why I understand now why Danny got that, because he did not have a consistent fucking receiver on that goddamn offense. And he's still able to put up, he was still able to fucking be under them 4 years he's been on that team. He has 12 INTs. I mean, no, not the whole season, that last season. He had no receivers, 60 touchdowns, and 12 INTs, bro. Like, come on. And they went to the fucking playoffs. Like, he deserved that money. And that's having no receivers and a good coach.
Well, they tagged Saquon too.
Again.
So they kept that. But what I'm saying is, when you look at it as an example for Lamar, Daniel Jones just got paid. Deshaun Watson got paid for sitting out a year and sexually assaulting 20 plus women. You've got all of these QBs and stuff like that who are getting paid this big time money, and yet Lamar Jackson, who again is 46-16 record wise, an MVP. Probably, if I'm not mistaken, he was the youngest MVP ever in the history of the NFL when he won it at the age of, I think he was 20 or 21. I just don't, to be honest, I don't see a scenario where I think the Ravens actually might be playing this to their advantage. Especially if they're trying to get a market feel on what people think about, or what other teams think about Lamar Jackson. But if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm asking honestly, and I think it's very, very, it's not very often that I agree with a lot of the talking heads, on the mainstream. But I do agree in the fact that Lamar should not be getting any less than what Deshaun Watson is getting. He should be getting just as much as Deshaun Watson, if not more.
Well, for sure more. He won the MVP.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like he should be getting and fully guaranteed. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it going, you know, I'm seeing things on there that apparently they're doing this because they don't want, you know, Deshaun Watson broke the market, so they don't want to, you know, break it even more and everything. I was like, well, they're not really breaking it because the salary cap in the next 10 years is going up every single year. They're getting more and more and more money every single year. So they have the room to be able to pay this type of money. Yet, if you're the Ravens, I don't understand what else he needs to prove for you to pay the man out. Like, what else does Lamar Jackson need to do for you to finally decide that he's worth the money? I don't get it. You know, yeah, oh, he's been getting like this last year, he was hurt, and this, what was he really? Was he hurt, or was he just saying he was hurt because he didn't want to play until he got paid out, type of thing? Was it really an actual injury, or was it more, they're not paying me, so why do I want to risk my body for a team that doesn't believe in me? And I'm kind of on the same page as Lamar is, to be honest with you. You know, if I'm putting up those type of numbers, if I'm doing, you know, what he was doing, even half of what he was doing, like, fuck. It's like, oh, you know, he was injured most of last year and everything. And it's like, I don't think he was. I think he was just saying he was. Like, that's just me personally. But, you know, when I look at a talent like Lamar Jackson, the fact that we're even questioning this right now, the fact that we're even going, oh, where can he go? Like, why, you know, where would it? The fact that this is even a conversation is actually baffling to me. Because, again, this is a guy that, what more does he need to prove? Well, obviously, you know, oh, okay, if he wins a Super Bowl, all right, well, how difficult is that? Super difficult to get to a Super Bowl. You know, so I don't know, man. I just looking at it going, they're doing the man dirty. And this might be one of those situations where it's going to come back and bite Baltimore in the ass in the worst way. Because you take Lamar Jackson off of that team, you know, like Kay said, they don't have receivers. They have one tight end. You know, they don't necessarily have an abundance of weapons out there in Baltimore. But Lamar being Lamar, as good as he is, he made it work. So I figure you actually give him weapons and watch what happens. I'm just saying, if he's winning an MVP and doing all this stuff at the age of 24 with barely any weapons, imagine you put him on a good team. How much better he's going to be.
Like Tampa, I'm telling you, bro. And you be at the crib, your whole family be home. I'm telling you, bro. You, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, doggone, man, look, bro. Man, look, bro. We'll be in a whole nother. I'm telling you, bro. That's right. Ooh. Oh, bro, you don't even understand. And then now K. Otten is coming into his own now. And look, he coming into his own now. I'm telling you. Look, I'm telling you.
The only thing you need in Tampa over there is an offensive line to be able to protect him.
Look, if we get Lamar Jackson, bro, literally the rest of our draft would be on offensive lineman, dog.
Pretty much.
The whole draft. Look,
And your entire free agency. Yeah.
bro, look, we be like, look, man, look. Hey, all you gotta do is just come. All you gotta do is come, bro. All we got everything else. Little Fournette come right back. He be like, hey, look, hey, bro, just let me back. He back. I ain't know y'all was gonna get Lamar. Y'all should have said something. Y'all should have told me you was gonna get Lamar.
Oh, fuck. I don't know, man. I'm just hoping wherever he goes, he gets paid the money that he deserves. And he's around a team that can actually benefit from his skills. So, I mean, we'll probably see it within the next few days or something like that. What ends up happening, because with the tag, obviously the phone calls are rolling in to Baltimore right now. Who's going to pull the trigger? We don't know. We'll see in the next few days. Everything at this point is just speculation and rumors. But we'll see how it goes. Lamar knows what Lamar's going to do. Baltimore knows what they're going to do, and we'll see how it all turns out. But
come on, Raiders. Come on, Raiders.
no, fuck that. Stop
look,
it.
Better than the Raiders and the damn the Carolina doggone Panthers.
Well, the point is the Ravens don't want to trade him inside the AFC.
Look, they're gonna have to get over something.
That's the thing. They want him out of the AFC because they don't want to be seeing him, come playoff time situations and stuff like that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to deal with that.
They ain't going no damn playoff.
I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying
I'm saying
they want him that. They want him out of the AFC. Lamar, don't give me a reason to hate you by going to that team. That's just that's all I'm saying.
Give him a reason. Give him a reason to hate. You remember that song? I know you remember that song, Lamar. Give him a reason to hate. Give him a reason to hate. Hey, reason to hate. Go on now. Get that boy a reason to hate. Go to Oakland. I'm sorry, not Oakland. God damn, I missed him in Oakland. I ain't gonna even lie. I missed him in Oakland with Vegas. I ain't even no Raiders fan, but hey man, it was better when they was in Oakland. This shit boring.
They suck. They're such a bad team. And look at freaking Carr.
Look at him.
They wanted to trade him to the Saints. He said no. You're gonna eat all that dead cap. And then when he became a free agent, went to the team that he was going to get traded to anyway.
Yeah. He want all his money.
If that ain't the pettiest shit I've ever seen.
How's that petty? That's well deserved. That man got fucked up behind the Raiders.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is he could have gone to any other team. But he decided to go to the team that the Raiders wanted to trade him to initially. Just so they can eat the dead.
He go to the fucking Niners. Look, if Derek Carr went to the Niners, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You sit here and say all that shit all you want to, but y'all boys would have been nice as fuck with Derek Carr, dog. If you like Alex Smith, ain't no way you ain't gonna like him with motherfucking Derek Carr. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking Derek Carr, bro. Hey, look. Oh, you can say what you want. Derek Carr is the best Carr in that motherfucking family. Hands down. And on top of that, the man, hey, look, you can say what the fuck you want. The man putting up yards for them sorry ass Raiders. Last year, okay. Last year happened. But you also got to remember who his head coach is. If you gonna fucking goddamn throw Derek Carr to that bus, you got to throw that damn head coach with him. Because the man had the damn special teams coach.
Okay, you understand as much shit as I have talked about Derek Carr.
Yeah, they fucked him up right there.
It's almost under the same tutelage as a Baker Mayfield.
You reference shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
As much shit as I've talked, if he ever came to the 49ers, I would literally sit here and just be... For what? Why? What do we need him for? I would just straight, just...
Fucking loser.
Like, I'm not doing it. I would look at Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch just straight red foreman status. Like, you can't do it. Because they're going to be a team that's not going to be any better. And what does Kay like to say? And thank God for the new sounds. What will the 49ers be with Derek Carr?
Losers, in other words.
I mean, what are y'all now?
Losers, in other words.
So what is the fucking difference?
Well,
he said shit.
the difference is we'll be losers outside of the playoffs than losers in the NFC Championship game.
Hey man, I think
that's the difference.
I really think they be really giving y'all a favor. Because real deal, if y'all be mad, like every fucking year, y'all went to the playoffs for like the last 3 years. If y'all get matched up in the other side of the fucking bracket, y'all boys will get knocked out in the first round. Every fucking year. That has happened for the last 3 years.
The matchups that we've been giving have definitely been beneficial. I gotta admit that.
Oh my God, they've been fucking looking y'all up. They've been hooking y'all the fuck up.
It's almost like the NFL has been trying to script a point where they want the 49ers to finally get one. We have the wrong coach for it. Maybe that's why.
We got B Rabbit. He ain't gonna do shit. They looking at his last name like, well, I mean, the daddy got 3. He can get 1. But no, he's Marcus Jordan. That's who he is. You better go start selling his shoes, just like Marcus. The fuck you talking about? Or go fucking fuck Scottie Pippen wife. I don't know what you need to do, but you got to go do something. For coaching football ain't it. You hurting too many fucking mobile quarterbacks and getting into the big games and then choking off and shit. I'd be like, oh, what happened? You choked again.
Again.
He's Shanahan. It's gonna become a fucking verb after a while. He's Shanahan. Like his daddy gonna be mad to the bitch. Mike gonna be mad as hell. Like
you fucked up our last name. Now everybody's associating injuring players with getting Shanahan. Fucking A.
Fucking choking in the playoffs. It's a combo thing. Now you get both. 2 for 1.
Oh shit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this lovely Wednesday evening. Appreciate Hans for coming on, Sunshine for coming on, talking Formula One. Once again, Jaffa Army, appreciate you guys for being with us throughout this time. PvP is official. We build together, we grow together. Highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. We are the All-Pro JAFFos. I'm JP. This is Country K. We will see you guys next time. Deuces.
He gonna cry.